Welcome back to our deep dive. Today we're tackling a really fascinating area, systems thinking. It touches basically everything, right? From your morning coffee maybe to global economies.
Absolutely. It's a different way of looking at things.
We've got some excerpts here from Danielle Meadows' Thinking in Systems, and, well, our mission today is to unpack the core ideas.
Yeah, try to give folks a clear lens on why things behave the way they do. It's all about that interconnectedness.
Exactly. So we'll explore what a system actually is, how they maintain themselves.
And why they can be so unpredictable sometimes.
It's a powerful way to think, definitely moving beyond just simple cause and effect.
For sure. Understanding that web of relationships, that's what really shapes things. Meadows makes it pretty accessible, too.
Draws from all sorts of fields, doesn't she?
Yeah, and her own big global modeling work, it's quite grounded.
Welcome back to our deep dive. Let's maybe start with the absolute basics. What is a system, according to Meadows?
Right. She really emphasizes it's more than just, a pile of stuff.
Okay, so the tree example she uses, roots, trunk, branches, leaves, those are the elements.
Those are the elements, yeah. The
Yeah.
individual parts. But the system is how they're all connected.
The interconnections.
Exactly. How they interact, how the tree does its thing, taking in CO2, releasing oxygen, moving nutrients around, that whole web.
And then there's the purpose,
Right.
what the system does.
Right. For the tree, it's pretty clear. Growth, reproduction, basically survival.
But Meadows also points out that a system shows behaviors that aren't just the sum of the parts, right?
That's a key point. It adapts, it's dynamic, it often seems to have goals like preserving itself. It can even evolve.
Like a flock of birds.
Yeah, great example. Their collective movement, that pattern, is way more complex than just what one bird is doing.
And the purpose isn't always what individuals intend either. That was
Oh,
interesting.
definitely. The drug addiction example is powerful.
Right. Nobody sets out to create a society with widespread addiction.
No, but you combine the purposes of desperate individuals, maybe dealers looking for profit, even government policies trying to react. And boom, you get this complex system that's really hard to tackle.
So our individual, maybe even rational actions can add up to something nobody actually wanted.
Exactly. Like, leaders don't intend to cause a recession, but it can be an inherent pattern in the economic system's structure, or a company's own policies accidentally hurting its market share.
She also stresses that changing the elements often has the least impact.
Yeah, that's often counterintuitive.
Like swapping players on a football team.
Yeah.
It's still a football team.
Right. But change the interconnections, change the rules of the game itself, and you've got something totally different.
Or the university example. Students come and go, professors change.
But the core purpose, the structure, how things connect, that tends to persist, doesn't it?
So this raises a big question then. If you want to understand or maybe even influence a system,
Where should you focus?
yeah, Meadows seems to argue for looking beyond just the individual parts.
Definitely. Look at the relationships, the interconnections, and that overall purpose or function. That gives you much more leverage, usually.
Changing the players might tweak things, but changing the rules of engagement.
That can be revolutionary.
So for someone listening, wanting to understand the world better, the first takeaway is
Don't just focus on the components in isolation. You'll miss the big picture.
it's understanding the connections and the purpose that gives you real insight into behavior.
Precisely. It's the interactions that give a system its character. Like that old saying, right? The whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Makes sense. Welcome back to our deep dive. Okay, let's get into another really key concept from Meadows, stocks and flows.
Right. And she uses that great simple analogy, the bathtub.
Yeah, the bathtub. So the water level itself, the amount of water in the tub at any moment, that's the stock.
That's the stock.
Yeah.
It's something you can measure, like right now, a snapshot.
Okay. And the water coming in from the faucet
That's your inflow.
and water going down the drain.
That's the outflow. And those, the inflow and outflow, are rates, how fast things are changing.
Got it. So stocks are amounts, flows are rates.
And the crucial thing is how they relate. Stocks go up or down based on the difference between the inflow and the outflow.
Simple enough with a bathtub.
Yeah, but that basic principle applies everywhere. Money in your bank account, fish in a lake, CO2 in the atmosphere, population.
All stocks influenced by inflows and outflows.
Exactly.
Now, a key point she makes is that stocks change, slowly.
Right, because flows take time. You can't just snap your fingers and fill or empty that bathtub instantly.
Right, there's a delay.
And that delay is absolutely vital for understanding how systems behave over time, the dynamics.
Like building up savings, you have to deposit money over time. It doesn't just appear.
Or think of a huge iceberg melting. It takes ages. Or industrial capacity, you can't build factories overnight. Or cleaning up polluted groundwater that takes decades sometimes.
And these delays, the fact that stocks change slowly, can create challenges, can't they?
Oh, definitely. In managing systems, we might react to a problem way after it actually started.
Or put a fix in place that takes a long time to work.
And then maybe we overreact because we don't see immediate results, or underreact. It makes timing interventions tricky.
But there's an upside to slow-changing stocks too, right? Stability.
Absolutely. They act as buffers, providing stability.
Like a whole forest doesn't just vanish overnight if there's a disturbance.
Exactly. Or a population doesn't instantly lose all its skills or knowledge if, say, schools close for a short while.
So the stock acts like a memory or a shock absorber.
That's a great way to put it. And this sort of independence between the inflows and outflows allowed by the stock gives us some predictability.
Even if the flows are bouncing around a bit day to day.
Right. Imagine trying to run a grocery store. If your stock had to perfectly match customer purchases every single second, impossible.
The inventory on the shelves of the stock provides that essential buffer.
That independence is key. It lets systems function relatively smoothly despite short-term fluctuations. Think about your own body's energy.
Right. I don't need to eat exactly the amount of energy I burn every single minute.
Because your body has stored energy as stock to smooth things out. It provides that resilience.
Well,